And welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premiere podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Yes. Here we are. We're back again, turning myself up just a little bit. You might be hearing golf in the background. I am fully watching the Genesis Open. Welcome back in. Here we are. I'm submitting my hours for work. So what happens when you work contract, baby. Got to follow up on those hours. I think I even had to. No, I did not have to do that for my one salaried position. But you know, we can't all be winners here. Welcome back in. I just finished the season finale, the second season finale for A Man on the Inside. I was watching that before I did some yoga and started watching golf. You know, there's a lot of shows, and I watch these shows, and I do like these shows, but I don't think of them in the same way that other people think of them. There's a lot of shows that are out that are toothless, and there's truly just no consequences in them. There's like things can happen and they're insane and it just doesn't make sense, but they happen and you know it's all going to be fine in the end. Man on the Inside, Loot, anything by Bill Lawrence, Shrinking, Ted Lasso. I've only seen like half the first season of Cougar Town. I assume Cougar Town. Not Scrubs. I'll keep him from Scrubs, but it's just I feel like I'm forgetting a show. I said Loot, Shrinking, Ted Lasso. Did I say Shrinking? Anyway, it feels like there's just like nothing can happen that will hurt these people. Even if the characters break up, like if there's a friendship breakup or a relationship breakup, you know they're gonna get back together. Whereas and I hate to compare this to, you know, a high-profile drama, but I also just started A Night of Seven Kingdoms, or whatever the hell that thing is called. And by started, I mean I watched one episode. The season finale is Sunday, and I thought I could catch up. There's only 6 episodes, I think, but I was working today, and then I watched the last episode of Man on the Inside. But like that, like for that show, I feel like there's going to be consequences, you know, if things don't happen. Maybe I should compare it to like another. I don't know, man. It's these half-hour sitcoms. Well, you know, I'm also watching Southland, and Southland is fantastic. But things happen in that show, and people don't bounce back from it. I just finished the third episode of the second season or something, or excuse me, the third episode of the third season or something. And they are dealing with a gang war right now. And one cop that got in trouble and had to be sent to rehab or went to rehab in the second season is back now. And he's back on the streets. And he's sober and he's a dick. And also he said something to Regina King that was sexist and racist. Oh, my goodness. And there's one guy, and there's another cop who is probably going to. I mean, I know based on because I went to Wikipedia. The woman who plays his wife only appears in the first 3 seasons of the show, so she's probably going to leave him, or he's probably leaving her, based on something that just happened. Also, she wasn't a good character; she sucked. Oh, look who's the sexist now! And one of the main characters is a drug addict. Well, not a drug; he's a pill popper. Yeah, I don't want lasting effects all the time, but then also, you know, just Shrinking just feels like it is a cartoon in and of itself, which is fine, I guess. And The Man on the Inside is just like, it feels like a funny version of Murder, She Wrote. I suggested it to my mom. I was talking to my mom on the phone this weekend or last weekend, and I said, hey, you should watch A Man on the Inside. It's a great show, because I just like banged out 3 episodes. I'm gonna say banged out. Same sentence. But yeah, it's anyway, it's good. Also, I'm wearing my U2 tour shirt. The tour from San Jose. This is a shirt. The story is I barely had any money to scrape together, and I was able to get enough money to go to San Jose to visit a friend and maybe think about living there. But Taylor Swift and U2 happened to be playing that same week, so I said, within like days of each other in San Jose. So I flew there, hung out with my friend. I went to those shows by myself. And as I was leaving the U2 show, there's people selling things. You can go to the venue, buy a real t-shirt, buy a real tour shirt. And then there's people out on the street selling stuff. And as I kept getting further and further from the venue and closer to the train station, like the fake shirts started popping up. Hey, we got shirts for you, $20. And I was like, nah, I can't afford that. Hey, we got shirts for you, $15. Now I can afford that. Hey, shirts got $10. And then I remember walking a couple of blocks going, if someone says $5, I'm buying a shirt. And a guy goes, $5. And I'm like, I turn, I go, I'll take a shirt. And I take it, and then I carried it home. I also found a cup at the stadium, or I guess, yeah, we were at a stadium. I found a cup at the stadium that people were using. I took the cup. I still have it to this day. Flew home with it. So yeah. Anyway, I'm wearing this U2 shirt for two reasons. On Wednesday, they released a new EP, Ashes. What was it called? I listened to it twice that day, and then it's called Days of Ash EP. It's 6 songs, one interstitial, but 5 songs and 1 interstitial. They're great. I enjoy the songs, but I didn't know it released until like the afternoon. And then I saw an interview with Bond, not an interview. I saw sorry, I have to respond to something. I saw a quote from Bono saying, hey, these are 6 new songs. And then also, we're still working on a new album, and the new album is going to be a lot lighter than what these songs are. So I was fully prepared for just classic sad. Jesus Christ, what is going on here? For classic sad U2. And then I listened to this, and it does. While the lyrics are sad, the guys are playing these uplifting beats. Ed Sheeran is on one track at the end. And I enjoyed it. And then, so I listened to that, and then I got in the car and I went to go buy some, full disclosure, the rower, you see the rower, if you're watching the video, there's a rower back there. I bought a rower a couple of weeks ago, and I got a great deal on it. And then I saw another one, and I went, I could triple the money. So, and just like literally just pay off the money I spent on that rower, even though I already paid the person, but I'm just saying, like, recoup the losses. So I went and bought that rower. So I'm going to clean it up. I just bought batteries for it, and boy, oh boy, I might make some, based on how little it's been used, I might make some money, but hopefully we'll see. Anyway, but as I was driving, on U2X radio, they were playing the record as well, or the EP. So I went ahead and listened again in the 12-minute drive that it took me. Well, it took me like 12 minutes to get there, but it's because somebody was in my way. And the second reason I'm wearing this shirt is because Bruce Springsteen is going on tour, and this is the only music shirt I have, and it's fake. Bruce Springsteen is going on tour, and your boy got tickets. Oh my God! It was planned. I knew he was going on tour. I put it in my calendar. Unfortunately, it's via Ticketmaster buying the tickets, so I signed up, and I got and I was waiting to be. I was waiting to exhale, but I was waiting to be notified at like 10 a.m. this morning. I was sitting at the computer for work, and then I saw the calendar thing, and I went, oh, okay, yeah, Bruce. Like, okay, I've got that. And I took Maverick to the dog park, and then we went for a walk, and it was 12:06. We were after the walk, we were at the pet food store. It was 12:06. And I got this text from Ticketmaster, which I'm not a huge fan of. I don't like getting texts from things. And it said, get in line now. And I went, are you fucking kidding me? So I'm freaking out. I'm at the dog food store. I get online and I'm like 180,000th in line. It's 6 digits. And all I remember is saying 108. And I went, that's too many. So I just waited in line and then I walked home just hoping that I could hop on the computer and maybe just wait in line in another spot and be able to, see which one's better, because I've heard of people doing that. I get home, Ticketmaster does not allow that, and I'm pissed. So I just wait in line. I'm sitting on a computer, and then I get a call from my supervisor's like, or my supervisor, I guess. I don't know. She's like, hey, let's have a chat about what's coming up in the next week. And I went, okay. So we're sitting on the phone, and 20 minutes into the call, we're sitting on Zoom, Teams, or whatever the fuck we use. We're sitting on Teams, and 20 minutes into the call, I see the number finally start moving down on my phone. Also, my phone is like at 40% at this point. The number starts finally going down. I'm at 110,000. I'm at 100,000, and then it gets down to 90, then 80, and I'm thinking, man, what's gonna happen? And I'm paying attention to work, but then I do so. I go online and I start like finding forums and Reddit and all that shit. And I'm looking at people's comments like, oh, I'm 100 and something in line. I'm 2,000 in line, and like the line's not moving, and I'm not gonna get tickets. And they're still commenting like I'm not be able to get tickets, and it sucks that $84 tickets are gone, and all the it's like hundreds of dollars just sitting in the nosebleeds. And I'm going, oh shit, no, I don't want this. And then finally I'm like I blast down from the 10,000s all the way down to like hundreds, and then finally it says you're up, like like truly just goes you're up. And then I'm looking through tickets, and I'm still in the meeting. I'm looking through tickets, and I'm like, oh my god, there's nothing. And I'm scrolling through my phone. You can't put it on the computer. I'm still scrolling through my phone. I'm like, oh man, this all sucks. And then I see like decent prices, but it's for 2 tickets. So it means, you're spending $500 or $600 or $700 for 2 tickets at decent prices. And then I select 1 ticket, and then it shows me like some single seats, and then it's like, oh, you can't buy this. You can't buy this. You can't buy this. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on? And then I refresh the page. I lose that. In the end, I finally I go back to a seat I chose already, and I put the payment through. I'm not spending a lot of money. I'm spending less than the 500. I'm spending less than the 400. I was so excited. I'll be sitting fairly close. I won't be sitting in the rafters. I will not be. I do not like sitting upstairs. I want to sit as close as I possibly can. I did not get an aisle seat. I wanted an aisle seat. I'm 2 seats away from an aisle seat, which pisses me off. Which is the last time Bruce Springsteen came. I'm roughly in the same area as I was last time. Like, I'm truly within rows of the same area. I'm in a better seat, but within rows of the same area. I think I paid roughly the same price. Anyway, Springsteen. The last time he came to Atlanta, I sat 2 seats. So there's an aisle seat, there's another seat, and then there's my seat. So I got there, I don't know, maybe like 30 minutes before the show, and people are still milling about, and there's no one in my row, there's no one in my section, and I was sitting there alone, and I was just like scrolling through my phone, and this woman, I've told the story before, this woman, that there's a door like 10 feet away, like truly you go down some stairs and then to the left. And then there's the exit for the MARTA station at State Farm Arena. There's an exit for the MARTA station, go down the stairs, blah, blah, blah. This woman, instead of seeing her seat and seeing where the line is, and there's no one there, and going up a row or going behind a row, she saw where her seat was next to me on the other side of me. And she was at the exact opposite end, and started slowly crossing down the aisle, just seat by seat, as slow as possible. And She did not say, excuse me. She did not say, pardon me. She didn't say that my seat is right next to you. Excuse me. She pushed past me, sat down, put her purse in her lap, covered her arms, and was just like this. And the entire show, that's how she sat. Her husband showed up with like a beer and food, I guess, whatever, and he sat in the aisle seat. He was having a good time. The people behind me were having a good time. The guy next to me was having a good time. The people in front of me were having a good time. Everybody was up having a good time except for me and this woman, because the entire fucking time she sat with her arms crossed, mad at the world, and her husband kept leaning down going, I love you. She's like having a good time. And she was just angry, which ruined my time. So hopefully I don't end up with a jerk ass next to me again. Anyway, that's it. So I'm excited to see you two. I also have tickets for a Doughboys podcast. They added I missed the first show that it was sold out at City Winery in Atlanta, and now they have a second show added at 10 p.m. So I'll be going to that. It's gonna be a bit. This in the same month, within a couple of weeks of each other. It's gonna be a very busy month. All right, let's get into the news. This comes from The Wrap. It's written by Jeremy Fuster. Ted Sarandos promises Netflix will include premium on demand and Warner theatrical window. That's right. Ted Sarandos, by all accounts, is a person I don't really like. But he has been saying pretty much the right things when it comes to this idea that Netflix will be buying Warner Brothers. You know what? I think I should go to break so I can feed the pets. I don't know. And you know, if you were paying attention earlier this week, Paramount Skydance has upped their offer. They are going to hold on. Let me go to let me get the news on this, because I don't want to get anything wrong and seem like a jerk ass. I had to click through things. No, don't open Spotify. Warner Brothers. Okay, so this is from the New York Times. I'm not going to link this in the notes. You should know this by now. But this is from the New York Times, written by Lauren Hirsch. Warner Brothers Discovery restarts deal talks with Paramount. Basically, Paramount Skydance said, hey, we're going to buy the entire company for $108 billion. And while Netflix is only doing $83 billion, all cash though. And they said, the Paramount said they're going to pay the $31 per share that Warner Brothers is really looking for. And then they also said that if the deal doesn't close by 2027, then we're going to pay $650 million in cash to shareholders for each quarter the deal does not close. But later on in this in this news narrative, you will understand that deal will close and these people will lose out on money. So that's basically the sweetener on top of everything. They also said, Paramount said, that this is not their best and final offer. And Warner said, you have until February 23rd to get us that best and final offer. But shareholders are now saying, hey, we'd be stupid not to look at this deal because it's a lot of money. But again, all these millions and millions and millions of dollars are not just coming from the Allisons. They're coming from offshore accounts with Saudi princes and such and the like, which is not what you should want. You don't want people who aren't in the industry owning one of the most storied studios. Then you have Netflix on the other hand, with Ted Sarandos basically being and Netflix being the punching bag in this relationship, just because, you know, they are offering a good chunk of money for a studio. I don't know what's going to happen with other stuff, but anyway. And anyway, so Ted Sarandos, in an interview with Matthew Belloni, I guess, he was asked on specifics for what kind of theatrical window Netflix would commit to with Warner Brothers films like DC sequels of Superman and the Batman that are on the 2027 slate. Sarandos said there was no coded talk. He said that the films were in theaters for 45 days. They would not go directly to HBO Max, but instead go to PVOD, Premium Video on Demand. That means households will have to rent, like Wicked for Good left theaters and it goes home before you can buy it on Blu-ray and 4K. You can pay for it $20 at home and own it and watch it at home for $20 before it actually goes on sale everywhere else, which is very important. That's a very important thing because that is a second, that has soon become a second theatrical window, or excuse me, second window for movies to make money. Elemental was before, like a movie like Elemental from Disney. That movie comes out in theaters, it doesn't do too hot. And then a couple weeks later, it starts making so much money because who knows? Why did Elemental start making money so late? But anyway, then before it goes to Disney Plus, hey, you can buy it at home. I don't know why I went with Elemental. You can buy it and watch it at home for $20 before, or rent it at home for $20 before it goes on sale, before you can buy it for $20. So that's very important. Other studios that have shorter theatrical windows, such as Universal, have taken a similar approach, arguing that the customer base for PVOD is different than the theatrical streaming. By placing family films, Elemental, on PVOD, for example, How to Train Your Dragon, before placing them on streaming, studios can appeal to cost-conscious families who want to see new films but can't afford to pay for 4 movie tickets plus concessions while still making more concrete revenue from a single film compared to streaming, where its availability is part of a monthly subscription price and its profit is more abstract. I do want to say one little thing about that. If people are going to the movies, you could talk about ticket prices. That's fine, but don't complain about concessions. Concessions have always been, for the most part, for the last couple of decades, concessions have always been consistently expensive. Go get dinner afterwards. Have some snacks beforehand. I hate it when people are like, they're making me spend $25 per ticket and then $4,000 on popcorn. That's your fault. Don't buy popcorn. Truly. I like to chew gum when I work out. I like to chew gum when I'm at home sometimes. You know what? Gum is great. If you bring 2 sticks of gum for a 2-hour movie, man, I'm not kidding. It gets you through. But me, I love this. I love to buy popcorn, so I don't care. Theaters have long argued that longer windows mean more profits for both themselves and for studios, as training audiences to assume that movies in theaters will be available on streaming less than 2 months will make them less likely to buy tickets or buy or rent them on home platforms, which is very true. I also think if you want to see a movie, if you really want to see it, if Dune Part 3 comes out in December, I'm going to go see that movie. If it comes out in May, I'm going to go see that movie. Make movies that people want to see. That's also very important. Now, this next bit, remember everything I said about Paramount before that first story. This next bit comes from Reuters, written by Amy Jo Crowley and Milana Vin. Netflix has ample room to increase its offer and battle for Warner Bros., sources say. Obviously, Netflix, we know, has so much money. They offered $82.7 billion for Warner Bros. Studios and its streaming business. There's obviously, we have Paramount coming in with hundreds of millions of dollars, and including that sweetener saying, "Hey, we're going to do $650 for every quarter that this does not pass in 2027." Which remember that for the next story. But we also know that Netflix is the most popular media platform besides YouTube and TikTok in the world right now. It makes so much money. And they have just like Apple, they have so much money and could bump up their offer for HBO Max and Warner Brothers. For Warner Brothers Discovery. This is from the sources. Warner Brothers is moving forward with a March 20 shareholder vote on Netflix's offer. It has given Paramount a week to come up with a more compelling bid. So here's how the breakdown. Netflix has a bid for $27.75 a share, or $82.7 billion for Warner Brothers Studios. And the streaming businesses, while Paramount has offered $30 a share, or $108.4 billion for the... Have I been saying hundreds of millions? Yeah, the hundreds of millions. That's $184 billion, hundreds of millions. For the whole company, which includes Discovery Global that houses CNN, HGTV, and other TV assets. Obviously, we know that Netflix has so much money from assets like Stranger Things. They've got the Broadway play, they've got the books, they've got the game, they got the phone games, they got the show, they've got all this stuff. They have sources say they have about $9.3 billion in cash and cash equivalents on its balance sheet as of December 31st. The deadline again for Paramount to offer its best and final offer is February 23rd. So we'll see if that is going to approach that $31 per share offer that Warner Brothers really is looking for. But remember, Netflix is cash, $82.7 billion. All eyes are on CBS Parent improves its offer, which Netflix is allowed to match under the terms of the merger agreement. And remember, Warner Brothers is allowed to go to Paramount or no, to have Paramount offer something else, but they have to pay a breakup. Well, they don't have to pay. Warner will have to pay the breakup fee, but Paramount said it would pay the breakup fee on that deal, that the handshake deal they have with Netflix. Paramount last week proposed paying, the investors additional cash equivalent for every quarter, blah, 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 and said it would cover the $2.8 billion breakup fee. So it'd be paying $110 billion plus this quarterly $650 if it didn't go through. So that has a potential of $650 plus. Hold on, I got this. $650 times 4. I got this. It's 1.2. So around $5 billion. In a letter, the board said Paramount's offer left several issues unresolved, including responsibility for a potential $1.5 billion junior lien financing fee, how the transaction would proceed if debt financing fell through, i.e., if those Saudi princes said we're not going to do this, and whether equity funding led by Larry Ellison was fully committed. Now, here's the final bit of tension in this. This comes from Todd Spangler at Variety. Paramount Skydance, which doesn't have a deal to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, claims its proposed WBD takeover has cleared DOJ antitrust review. Hey, this whole thing regarding Netflix and Paramount and Warner Brothers is no matter what's going to happen, it will make a monopoly. People siding with Paramount, including James Cameron, who's a guy I like, but people siding with Paramount are saying this is going to be a better deal because it doesn't make a monopoly. But if Netflix bought Warner Brothers Studios, it would make a monopoly. That's not how monopolies work. There's not a one-way type deal. It's a ridiculous assumption that if Paramount bought Warner Brothers, they wouldn't have this giant, a conglomerate of studio, and not including just movies, but also television and news. What would happen to CNN? Because they already have that fat little cherub Barry Weiss running CBS News, and then she's also running her racist little blog Substack thing. Still, the Informant, where the fuck that thing is called. So, what do you think is going to happen if Paramount buys Warner Brothers? All that shit's, all this Warner Brothers stuff is going to essentially be dissolved and just turned into nothing. More people are going to be let go. I think it'll be a much more of a massacre. It's crazy. Gosh. It pisses me off. I understand what this looks like if they went with Netflix. I get it. I know. And I keep saying this over and over again. I would rather Warner Brothers not be purchased by anybody and it's allowed to survive by itself. But this is not where we are. It's ridiculous. And then people complaining that, oh, this will never pass and the government will never allow this to happen. President Trump will never allow this to happen. Trump is going to allow this to happen? Paramount? Christ. If Magneto, this is the only way I could describe this. because Magneto does have some good ideas. I'm not gonna lie. After I just rewatched The Last Stand, he gotta have some good ideas. You know who's a good director? Bryan Singer. Oh, he directed that Melania movie. I'm so excited to see Melania movie. You know, me and 78 of my best friends, we all went to go see that movie. Well, we bought tickets and we didn't show up, but we all went to go see that movie. I don't know what I was talking about. Now, on February 19th, 2026, at 11:59 Eastern, the 10-day statutory waiting period expired following Paramount Skydance's certification of compliance with the DOJ's December 23rd, 2025 second request for information under the Hart-Scott-Rodino Antitrust Improvements Act of 1976, the company said in an SEC filing on Friday, this past Friday. Today. Oh my God, that's today. Wow. The expiration of the HSR waiting period, quote, means there is no statutory impediment in the U.S. to closing Paramount's proposed acquisition of WBD. So that means, let's pretend Netflix bows out and this deal goes through next week or March, because that's when they're voting on it. The deal could close by the end of the year. The shareholders lose out on that proposed $650 million per quarter that the deal doesn't close. Like you have just, Paramount is literally showing you its hand. It's like Paramount is asking out. Paramount's this fuckboy. It's a Chad. Not me, but it's like a white Chad. It's a fuckboy, and it's wearing a fedora, and it's got these vanity muscles and all these tattoos, and it treats people and it treats women like shit all the time, or men, or they, thems, whatever they like. But it treats people that it dates like shit all the time, and people know it, but people still keep going back to it for some reason. And then at the end of it, they're like, "What? Why did I date that person?" Paramount is going to Warner Brothers, this beautiful company, and saying, "I'll treat you right. I got you, baby. Let's do it." And then they're saying, "I'm going to give you this house. I'm going to give you everything, and no one's going to lose their job. And I'm going to love you," while they're also sitting right next to Warner Brothers on a date and texting their side pieces. And then where's Netflix in this equation? Netflix is also a little bit of a fuckboy. But he shows his cards. He's like, "Hey, look, I like you. I want to have kids, but not right now. At some point in the future, and I'm very busy with work, but I'm very successful, and I will give you everything you need." It'll be very surface level. We'll make a lot of bland TV shows and a lot of bland, same looking movies, but we'll have a nice life. I'll let you. You're still allowed to work on your own and be your own for now. We'll see what happens. Netflix, in a response to the Paramount announcement, pointed out that the development does not technically mean Paramount's prospective WBD takeover has received DOJ regulatory approval. Meanwhile, Paramount acknowledged in the FCC filing that it doesn't have an agreement in place to actually buy WBD. On Thursday, a group of 8 U.S. Democratic senators led by Senator Cory Booker, concerned about political interference in Paramount's pursuit of Warner Brothers Discovery, sent a letter to Ellison requesting answers to questions about Paramount's dealings with the Trump administration with respect to WBD and directing the company to preserve all records related to the matter. These are the things that we need to keep in mind. I would rather have Warner Brothers be by itself and be as big as Disney and everybody. It's like, I love HBO Max. I love playing the Batman Arkham games. Suicide Squad was good. One of those is a lie. But that's not going to happen right now. All right, let's get on to this last story. Finally, this comes from IGN, written by Ryan McCaffrey. Phil Spencer retiring, Sarah Bond out, Matt Booty promoted as Microsoft AI exec Asha Sharma named new Xbox boss. This is exclusive, and it came in about 2 hours ago. Phil Spencer is a very smart CEO. Unfortunately, in the past couple of years, Xbox. I'm not saying that this is his fault, but Xbox has been led down a not so good path. Dumb people think that PlayStation is the best, and we should only have one console, and that competition is stupid, and that we should all be playing PlayStation games, PlayStation branded games, and that Xbox is nothing, and blah 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 blah. You want competition. You want a Steam Deck. You also want a Lenovo Legion Go. You also want the Razer X or whatever the fuck those things are called. This is a very dirty episode. I'm cursing all over the place. So this new CEO of Microsoft Gaming will be Ashish Sharma, currently the president of Microsoft's Core AI product, which I don't know who this person is, but I don't care about AI, and I'm not going to assume that this person is going to turn Xbox division into an AI-led thing, but that does not bode likely for me. Bode well. This does not bode well. Finally, Xbox Game Studios head Matt Bode is being promoted to Chief Content Officer and will work closely with Sharma. Oh, wow. Phil Spencer is retiring effectively on Monday. So Xbox President Sarah Bond, she should have... she resigned. Oh, that sucks. She should have been the one to take the job. But putting a woman in charge is bad, apparently. We don't know where this is going to take, but I don't know. This is... Oh, Asha Sharma's a woman. Okay. Interesting. Here's what they look like. All right. Well, we'll see where this goes. But again, AI does not... I don't really know if AI is a thing that we need to focus on in this. Xbox has been in a place where more recently where they've been buying up they've been buying up studios, and then also they've been focusing on trying to get more first party games out there, which is good. They've had some layoffs, and then they've also been moving some of their first party IP over to outside sources, including Nintendo and PlayStation, which is fine. Okay. They need more games, obviously. I think Game Pass is good. It's the only way I'll play High on Life. I have no interest in buying that game because High on Life 2, I'm playing High on Life 2 right now, and it is, while the jokes are funny, the gameplay kind of stinks. It's not a very good shooter. It's competent, but it's not very good. And I'm enjoying the hour I spend with it per night, but it's not something. It's not, and remember I talked about the last Call of Duty, I think Black Ops 4. I don't know what the fuck that one is. What was the last Call of Duty? I don't know. The last Call of Duty that came out this past fall. Remember, I played that on a Saturday night from 11 p.m. to like 1 a.m. Or no, excuse me, from like 10 p.m. to like midnight or 1 a.m. And with randoms, because that's how you play the campaign online. And the shooting there is still much better than High on Life 2, which is... Anyway, but I like Game Pass, but Xbox has been moving toward everything is an Xbox. You're going to be able to play Xbox on your TV without a console, on your phone, on your MacBook, all this stuff. And while we've seen a really good expansion across the cloud market and such, but while we've seen all this expansion across the cloud market, it just has not been the best. And I would rather them focus on the console. And then also there's rumors that they're readying a new console for next year. And then there's also a rumor that PlayStation is readying a console for 2029. I do not believe we need new consoles from Xbox or PlayStation. Nintendo need a new console. But and then I still new. But I'll get a Switch too. Just let me hold on for a couple of months. But I still think, even like we've seen it with the release of PS5 Pro and still on my Xbox Series X and my PlayStation 5, there's nothing has really reached the potential, at least from what I've seen, for PS5 and Xbox Series X. It just does not make sense. We don't need new consoles. Also, especially with this RAM shortage, and the Switch 2 is going to go raise in price, and it's already $500. The Steam Deck is out of stock because of the raise of memory prices because of Trump. Trump's tariffs. We don't need new consoles. Get the most out of these current consoles. I'm not saying make games for them until they slow down, because that's really how the Xbox One was. Like that thing slowed down, and then I got my Series X. I was like, this is so fast. I'm on PS5, jumping around, darting around on these games. So we'll see where this is going to happen. This is going to happen. We'll see where this takes Xbox. I don't know. One of the biggest things he's done, Phil Spencer has done in the past couple of years, was the $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard King in 2022. But what has that left you with? Like, Doom and Quake and Call of Duty, but that's really not much. Anyway, I hope this takes Xbox to a whole different level, something that is comparable, and that we can just have more comparable to the competition, and that we can have more competition. I want more competition. Hell, if Sega was going to put out a new Dreamcast, let's do it, baby. Alrighty, man. And I say this as a guy who has every single console. Well, all the modern consoles. I don't know what's going on with this cable. I'm going to have to buy a new cable. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to famous people. I just put out an interview with Troy Walker, who's a writer for Jimmy Kimmel Live. He has a new a new album out called Esquire. So check that out. You can see a video version of that interview on youtube.com/cpluscomedy, where you can also see a video version of this podcast, as well as the other podcasts, Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show, which will return next week. It's a late show podcast. And then Late Night podcast. And then LinkedIn Logs, which is the jobs podcast. That's out every Tuesday. Video is usually the next day or something like that. Find us on social media. Subscribe to the shows wherever your podcast. Social media. TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, and YouTube, C Plus Comedy. Me on those platforms at Chad Blackwhite. Thanks so much for listening. Bye. See you next time.